Guyana, officially the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, is a country on the northern mainland of South America. Guyana is an indigenous word which means land of many waters. The capital city is Georgetown. Guyana is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean to the north, Brazil to the south and southwest, Venezuela to the west, and Suriname to the east. With a land area of 83,000 square miles, Guyana is the third smallest sovereign state by area in mainland South America after Uruguay and Suriname, and is the second least populous sovereign state in South America after Suriname. It is also one of the least densely populated countries on Earth. It has a wide variety of natural habitats and very high biodiversity.
The region known as the Guianas consists of the large shield landmass north of the Amazon River and east of the Orinoco River, known as the Land of Many Waters. 9 indigenous tribes reside in Guyana: the Wai-Wai, Mikushi, Patamona, Lakono, Kalina, Wapishana, Hemin, Akaweo, and Wereo. Historically dominated by the Lakono and Kalina tribes, Guyana was colonized by the Dutch before coming under British control in the late 18th century. It was governed as British Guiana with a mostly plantation-style economy until the 1950s. It gained independence in 1966 and officially became a republic within the Commonwealth of Nations in 1970. The legacy of British rule is reflected in the country's political administration and diverse population, which includes Indian, African, Indigenous, Chinese, Portuguese, other European, and various multiracial groups. Guyana is the only mainland South American nation in which English is the official language. However, the majority of the population speak Guyanese Creole, an English-based Creole language, as a first language. Guyana is part of the Anglophone Caribbean. It is part of the mainland Caribbean region, maintaining strong cultural, historical, and political ties with other Caribbean countries, as well as serving as the headquarters for the Caribbean Community CARICOM. In 2008, the country joined the Union of South American Nations as a founding member. In 2017, 41% of the population of Guyana lived below the poverty line. Guyana's economy has been undergoing a transformation since the discovery of crude oil in 2015 and commercial drilling in 2019, with its economy growing by 49% in 2020, making it, by some accounts, currently the world's fastest-growing economy. As it is said to have 11 billion barrels in oil reserves, the country is on course to become one of the largest per capita oil producers in the world by 2020. The discovery of over 11 billion barrels of oil reserves off the coast of Guyana since 2017 is the largest addition to global oil reserves since the 1970s. Guyana is now ranked as having the 4th highest GDP per capita in the Americas after the United States, Canada, and the Bahamas, and has been one of the countries with the most improvement in Human Development Index ranking since 2015. According to the World Bank in 2023, very significant poverty still exists and the country faces significant risks in structurally managing its growth.
The name Guyana derives from Guyana, an earlier name for a larger region that included the areas now called Guyana, British Guiana, Suriname, Dutch Guiana, French Guiana, the Guayana region in Venezuela, Spanish Guyana, and Amapa in Brazil, Portuguese Guiana. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the name Guyana comes from an indigenous Amerindian language and means land of many waters. The word cooperative in the official name refers to cooperative socialism.
What is now Guyana has been inhabited for millennia. 9 indigenous tribes reside in Guyana: the Wai-Wai, Mikushi, Patamona, Lakono, Kalina, Wapishana, Hemin, Akaweo, and Wereo. Many of these peoples practice shifting agriculture alongside hunting. Historians speculate that the Arawaks and Caribs originated in the South American hinterland and migrated northward, first to the present-day Guianas and then to the Caribbean islands. The Arawak, mainly cultivators, hunters, and fishermen, migrated to the Caribbean islands before the Caribbean settled throughout the region.
Although Christopher Columbus was the first European to sight Guyana during his third voyage, in 1498, and Sir Walter Raleigh wrote an account in 1596, the Dutch were the first Europeans to establish colonies: Pomeroon, 1581, Essequibo, 1616, Berbice, 1627, and Demerara, 1752. After France invaded the Dutch Republic, 1795, the British assumed control in 1796, with the Dutch and British signing the London Convention in 1814 that ceded Demerara, Essequibo, and Berbice to Britain. In 1831, the united colonies of Demerara, Essequibo, and separate colony of Berbice together became a single British colony known as British Guiana. Since its independence in 1824, Venezuela has claimed the area of land to the west of the Essequibo River. Simón Bolívar wrote to the British government warning against the Berbice and Demerara settlers settling on land which the Venezuelans, as assumed heirs of Spanish claims on the area dating to the 16th century, claimed was theirs. In 1899, an international tribunal ruled that the land belonged to Great Britain. From the Anglo-Dutch Treaty of 1814, the British inherited Dutch territory which included lands between the Orinoco and Corentyne rivers. Dutch sovereignty over these settlements was recognized in 1648 by Spain with the Peace of Munster, which stated under Article 5 that the Dutch would retain all of the lordships, cities, castles, fortresses, trades, and lands in the West Indies under their possession at the time. However, the treaty did not specify the boundary between Spanish Guyana and Dutch Guyana.
If you want to see more videos like this, then please like this video and follow me at CHAVII_869.
Guyana achieved independence from the United Kingdom as a dominion on May 26, 1966 and became a republic on February 23, 1970, remaining a member of the Commonwealth. Shortly after independence, Venezuela began to take diplomatic, economic, and military action against Guyana to enforce its territorial claim to the Guyana Essequibo. Following independence, Forbes Burnham of the People's National Congress reform rose to power, quickly becoming a repressive authoritarian leader. Politics became divided on race, with the Afro-Guyanese supporting Burnham's People's National Congress and the Indo-Guyanese supporting Juggins People's Progressive Party, in what became termed as open jot politics, Guyanese Hindustani 4, vote for your own kind. Guyana was elected twice as a member of the UN Security Council in 1975 and 1976 and later 1982 and 1983. In 1978, a total of 918 people died at the Jonestown mass murder-suicide led by cult leader Jim Jones at a remote settlement in northwest Guyana. Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter visited Guyana to lobby for the resumption of free elections. On October 5, 1992, a new National Assembly and regional councils were elected in the first Guyanese election since 1964 to be internationally recognized as free and fair. Chetty Juggin of the PPP was elected and sworn in as president on October 9, 1992. This reversed the monopoly that Afro-Guyanese traditionally had over Guyanese politics. The poll was marred by violence, however. In May 2008, President Barrett Jagdeo was a signatory to the UNASUR Constitutive Treaty of the Union of South American Nations. The Guyanese government officially ratified the treaty in 2010. In March 2020, President David Granger narrowly lost the snap elections, following Granger's government loss of a vote of no confidence back in 2018. Granger refused to accept the results, but eventually 5 months later, Irfan Ali of the People's Progressive Party/Civic was sworn in as the new president because of allegations of fraud and irregularities. The National Trust of Guyana has designated 9 historic sites as national monuments. A referendum in neighboring Venezuela was held in December 2023 on the annexation of the Guyana Essequibo region, which lies entirely in the territory of Guyana. The vote passed with a 95% majority, but with a low turnout. This came at the same time as a Venezuelan military buildup on the Guyanese border, sparking concerns of war between the two states.